back roads of Kentucky, looking for thoroughbred horses, bourbon, and food.
Glens Creek and Woodford. We're still in Woodford County.
Well, yes, you are, by about a couple hundred yards.
A couple hundred yards into Woodford County, Kentucky, right down the street from Castle and Key Distillery. About a mile and a half from Woodford Reserve at Glens Creek. 4 miles, thank you. And If you would, just tell us a little bit about the operation here, how long it's been going on, a
Sure.
little bit about your products. It smells great here, that distillery smell.
That's right. Most people enjoy that come in here. And there's different smells depending on where you are. You get down by fermenting or down by the stills themselves.
Distiller's beer.
Get some different things. So this is Glens Creek Distillery here in Woodford County, as you pointed out, and right along the back here is Glens Creek. So it runs all the way from Versailles all the way down to the Kentucky River, about half a mile or so up that way. This is the Old Crow Distillery. So you mentioned Castle and Key there in the Old Taylor Distillery, the former Old Taylor Distillery. This is the former Old Crow Distillery. It's a little confusing down here because this distillery originally was 260 acres, give or take. Jim Beam bought both places in 1987, and then they sold off 16 acres that we have here, including the original Old Crow Distillery and some of the aging warehouses and some other buildings, and then this building here as well. And then they kept the aging warehouses next door. So between us and Castle and Key, Jim Beam has the aging warehouses, roughly 400,000 barrels aging over there.
So just kind of help us understand a little bit from you guys taking over, doing all this hard work, doing all this innovative things, and then how long did it take to put out your first barrel of bourbon?
Well, that's a great question. So I'm gonna defer to the question of age because that's a question we get all the time. Well, how old is that? I said, well, which one? Because
Sure.
what we do primarily is single barrel and barrel strength. So not every barrel is the same age. Right now, we produce a barrel every other day.
Okay.
Okay. In the beginning, we could produce about 4 or 5 barrels a month. Okay. So, given that, whenever we bottle something, it's never the same age as the previous one.
Right. So
Okay.
when a customer buys something from a smaller batch, they're always getting something unique. It's not
That's
not
right.
your cookie cutter bourbon that
No.
they sell thousands of gallons of,
No.
like some of the bigger companies.
Well, that's our niche, right? What we do is a little bit unique, so we've got unique products. But here's the deal, and here's the trouble for people, and I've experienced it. I've tried distillate from other small distilleries that was young, and I didn't care for it.
Okay.
Now, I know better than to associate that to age, because there's at least 5 major variables that are going to affect that final outcome, starting with the grains and the mash bill, followed by your yeast, followed by your distillation method, followed by the barrel itself, and then followed by post-barrel, what you do with it.
Right, and even down to the wood.
Even down to the wood. I
Yeah.
mean, there's so many variables, but it's not just age. So people come in here and they say, well, how old is that one? And I said, look, you taste it and you can tell me how old you think it is.
That's a good answer.
99% of the time they get the answer wrong. Okay? The only ones who ever get the answer correct or close, they pick up the label and read the age statement,
Yeah.
or they ask the question, how long have you been doing this, or how long have you been in business?
Right.
And then they reverse engineer it and make an assumption,
Sure.
right? So, one thing that affects this for us, here's how it's different. Okay, we use a pot still, number one. That's old school technology.
Right.
People have been doing it for 2,000 some years. And the flavor profile coming out of a pot still, if it's done properly, is wider than what comes out of a continuous still. And I can explain that at some point. And so our flavor of our white dog, our new make going into the barrel is better, starting out better.
Yeah.
Okay? Then the barrels we get from Kelvin Cooperage over in Louisville, and they make those barrels the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
The old-fashioned way is toasting and charring. Okay? Toasting is a slow heating process, so they place that barrel over a small fire and they let it heat up gradually. What that does is it caramelizes the sugars deeper into the wood.
Right, and people don't associate that method with the outcome of the bourbon's taste, and giving it those nice aftertaste, that caramel after flavor.
And what most of us don't know, because we're not old enough, is that in years gone by, so in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and before that, all barrels were toasted and charred. Nowadays, most big cooperages only char barrels. The other thing is when Old Crow's in operation, and they use toasted and charred barrels, they did a char 3. That was pretty common back 30 years ago, okay? Nowadays, a char 4 or even a char 5 is common, and the reason is the same. You have to burn the heck out of that wood in order to get that same effect with those sugars that toasting does. Charring a barrel with a big old flame or infrared, there's various ways to do it, it's quick, a few minutes. Toasting takes 20 minutes. Okay, so our barrels are toasted and then they're a char 3. Well, when I talk to the fellows over there who operate the cooperage, they tell me every one of their customers says that their barrels give a better tasting product sooner because of that toasting. Okay. Now, I pay more for it. Barrels cost more because it takes more effort for them to make those. It's a slower process. So you know, just looking at a number, age, 4 years, 6, 8, 10, 12, whatever it is, it's only one of so many variables. And if you put that distillate in the barrel, I mean, at say 125 proof, which is the legal limit of bourbon, and then when it comes out of the barrel, you want to cut it to 80 proof, you have to add a substantial amount of water.
Sure.
Make that finished product is 60% water. When you add that water, you're cutting that flavor, and so you have to leave it in the barrel a long time. So we don't add any water to it. It comes straight out of the barrel. These are barrel strength. It comes straight out of the barrel, so you're getting all the flavor
Right,
taken out of the barrel.
yeah.
Okay?
Okay, so with Glenn's Creek, when the customer comes in here, they can expect a unique experience out of every barrel. You don't have a cookie cutter.
No.
Nothing's duplicated. They get a true small batch bottle every time they come in.
Well, no. Small batch means you mix barrels.
And you're not doing that.
That's the most common misunderstood term. Most people think batch is what you cook or distill. A small batch is the number of barrels that you mix together to go into the bottles.
Okay.
And if these are single barrel,
And these are single barrel.
these are single barrel. We do have products that from time to time, they're usually labeled as premium, are technically small batch because there's multiple barrels in here. It's the remnants. When we bottle, there's a little left over in the barrel. We pour that back in the barrel and we keep doing that, and we accumulate it till the barrel's full, and then we let it age a little bit longer. So those are our premium products. But the rest of these, you'll see on every label, you'll see a barrel number and an individual proof written, because we don't know what the proof's going to be until we get it out of the barrel.
Sure, right.
Corn whiskey says, and I quote, "and if aged." So aging is an optional step. With bourbon, it's not optional. Okay. It says, "and if aged, may not come in contact with charred wood in any form or fashion."
Okay, yep.
Right? Bourbon, as we know, must go in a
Has to.
charred container. Okay. So that's the differentiation between those two products, and most consumers don't know that. I didn't until I read the rules and then understood what's the difference between corn whiskey. So if you buy a product that's corn whiskey, it's not going to have the same reddish amber color, because that color comes from the char.
Yes.
It's going to be straw colored, brownish, not a bad color, but it's just not going to be the same color because
It's
there's
definitely
char.
not gonna have the same flavors. not
No,
even close.
it's going to taste quite different. What you're going to see is grain on the surface, and you're going to see bubbling activity.
That amazing smell, I love it.
You get two things going on here. You get two kinds of fermentation. You have yeast fermentation, you have bacterial fermentation.